Joins us now, the former Trump White House lawyer. So, Ty, another historic day, and here you are. It is the first time a former president in the United States has ever been charged with crimes committed while in office. What's your reaction watching this historic day?
Well, as you know, I think this is sad. I think it, unfortunately, is a situation could have been avoided. Trump forced it upon the Department of Justice by the way he conducted himself in his last few days in office, and by the criminal conduct that he committed as he finished his presidency. I do think, as we've discussed, that former Judge Luttig's poignant comments on what this means for America and for the world, the fact that, the star that America has been to the rest of the world for the past 250 years, is a little, has been dimmed greatly by Trump, but it's a little brighter tonight because as a country, we've shown that we are going to stand up for the Constitution, that we are not going to tolerate unconstitutional criminal behavior, and that we will apply that law, to the, highest offices in the land. So this could be an inflection point. I hope it is in terms of America returning to greater standing within the world and forcefully demonstrating our commitment to the rule of law.
So, Ty, the next court date is August 28th. That's when we'll find out when the trial is set to begin. Now, Trump's attorney, John Lauro, already today in the hearing, pushed back on prosecutors' push for a quote-unquote speedy trial. He says he needs a lot of time because there's a massive amount of discovery that he needs to do, and it just can't happen quickly, is the clear implication. Does that add up, and how long will this take?
No, it doesn't add up, and I think Mr. Lauro, for all his skills, which I understand to be considerable, he's been in this case for 2 weeks, 10 days. He doesn't know all the facts, couldn't possibly have mastered them all by now. He's making only political arguments. He's been out insisting that they're criminalizing speech, where the simple counter to that is you actually can facilitate and further a crime through speech and be prosecuted for it. Just I saw an example in some of the reporting today where, if Tony Soprano tells one of his guys to whack a witness, well, that's speech, but that's a crime. So I think some of his arguments are a little not well thought out and purely theatrical. I think in terms of the theory that this case could take 9 months, that's delusional. The government has a very, very strong case. They will probably need, I would say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 weeks to put on their case. But the defendant has virtually nothing to come back with. It's not like he can say, I didn't say that. If Trump and Pence and Eastman and Meadows and other people are all in the same room and say he did. It's not like he can go out and find somebody to say, Trump really believed he lost. That's hearsay. That's an opinion. The only person that can put Trump's state of mind into the trial is Trump. And Trump testifying subjects himself to questions like, let me run through this 500 or 600 examples of TV clips where you lied to the country, and can you just explain each lie to us? He's not going to testify. So I think the likelihood of the defense putting on much of a case is nil. I don't think they have anything that they can come back with, and the direct questioning by the prosecution, while it'll be lengthy, it will be consistent with the narrative set forth in the indictment.
But when you're saying, 4 to 6 weeks to present, and then they wouldn't have much to say, I mean, this could be extremely quick. I mean, I mean, are you implying this is
Yeah.
something that literally could be, you could be through you could be done by Christmas?
Yeah, well, you could, although I will say one thing. Judge Chekin is an excellent judge and a no-nonsense judge, and she will move this case expeditiously. But as a former public defender, she's very mindful of the rights that defendants have, the due process rights. She's not going to disadvantage the defendant by trying this case at a pace that treats him unfairly. So whatever date she sets, she will have taken all that into consideration. But yes, I do think this case could get to trial shortly after the first of the year, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it be the first one on the docket.
All right, Ty, thank you very much.